Hello class, welcome back 4th grade. I'm super happy that you are here and I hope that you are ready to start with today's class. As you know, today we're going to start by doing a review about the activities, about the things that we did yesterday. We learned 2 new topics in past. Remember that in this unit we are talking about activities and objects from the past. So for that reason, we are going to be learning topics about the past simple. In this case, we review about the past simple questions. First of all, we started doing checking and learning the past simple questions with did. Remember that we always start our questions in past. We did. Next to it, we're going to write the personal pronoun or subject, and next to it, it's going to be the verb like in present or the base form. So for example, did I eat? Did you buy? Did he pray? Did she teach? It's in past. Later, we check used to, that we use it for repeated actions in the past, which are usually finished, something that you don't do anymore, but you used to did in the past constantly. For example, we use it like in affirmative way, used to, negative, didn't used to. Questions, did you used to buy? And later we did activities from pages 72 and 75, 72 and 73 from the students book. Today we have 3 pages and we need to hurry up. First of all, we are going to check the activities or the topic that we have for today, quotation marks. Which are the quotation marks? The things that people do like this when they are talking. These are quotation marks. Quotation marks show when someone is speaking. They go before and after someone's word. Like for example, when someone is talking or when we are reading like a story, it says, she told me, and you open the quotation mark. Go and buy fruit. You close the quotation mark. For example, did you like this book? As the teacher. Okay, so here you have the quotation mark because this is what the teacher told, what the teacher asked. Did you like this book? The teacher asked, or asked the teacher. Tim replied, it was the best book ever. Quotation mark, quotation marks. Okay, so we have a pair of quotation marks before and a pair of quotation marks at the end or after someone's words. Okay, so the main idea is that we use quotation marks when someone is talking. It is most common to see this in stories, in books. Yes, so direct quotations. Quotation marks at the beginning and end of sentence. This is what we say. This is a great book. Quotation mark, quotation mark, exclaimed Ted. Okay, so we're not going to pay attention to this. The main idea is to know when we are using quotation mark. Okay, I have some examples in here. My mom told me, help me to cook dinner. So this is what my mom told me. So for that reason, they are between quotation mark. I am really tired, she said. So we can look at the quotation mark at the quotation mark, okay? So it is that simple. We use quotation mark when we want to pay attention what someone is saying, what someone is telling us, what someone is talking. So in this case, we're going to emphasize that anyone else said these words, okay? So we're going to check this later in the book. They have a new explanation and we're going to repeat and review this. So first of all, we have reading activities from the student's book, and today we're going to do 3 pages like I told you, 74, 75, and 76. Activity 13 says, listen and read. How has the average of speed in vehicles changed since early 1900s? Then you have the content words, you can check them. You can find it on your dictionary. So, and then there were cars. So we're going to listen to this reading and then we are going to go back and do activity 14. So let's pay attention to this reading. It's super important to pay attention so we are going to be able to do the activity later.
Student's Book, page 74. Activity 13. Listen and read. How has the average speed of vehicles changed since the early 1900s? And then there were cars.
Until the early 1900s, many people traveled by horse and buggy. They didn't used to travel very far or very fast. Historians believe that the furthest a family could travel in one day used to be about 24 kilometers. Since a horse and buggy had an average speed of 8 kilometers per hour, a simple equation shows us that people used to travel no more than 3 hours a day. 3 hours multiplied by 8 kilometers per hour equals 24 kilometers. 3 times 8 equals 24. The distances people traveled changed in 1886 when Mr. Carl Benz from Germany put an engine on a buggy. It was the first gas-powered vehicle. Then, in 1901, the German company Daimler Motors, DMG, created a beautiful motor car for racing. It was called the Mercedes. Its engine was lighter, so it could travel faster than any other car. The Mercedes also looked very different from the horse-drawn buggy. It was more attractive, and it was safer because it was lower and closer to the road. 6 Mercedes raced in Nice in 1901, and they reached an average speed of 51 kilometers per hour. Unfortunately, the Mercedes was expensive. It was, and still is, a luxury. The average working man in America in the 1900s could not buy one. Henry Ford changed this when he built the Model T, or Tin Lizzie, in 1908. It was one of the first popular cars. People could buy it for about $850. All of a sudden, the number of cars on the road multiplied. Its average speed was about 40 kilometers per hour. Modern cars today are much faster than they used to be. The average speed of the modern car is about 90 kilometers per hour. However, in big cities, because of all the traffic, we still don't travel much faster than we used to with the horse and buggy.
Okay, super interesting. Now we can do activity 14. Says, look at 13, the reading. Say true or false, correct the sentences that are false. Okay, so you're going to read this and you're going to write if it's true or false. If you find a sentence that is false, you need to correct it to make it true, depending in the text. Now, activities on page 75. Activity 15 says, read quickly. Is technology important for the 3 tribes living traditionally in a modern world? So you have the content words. You can find it in a dictionary if you want to understand the reading pretty well. So, and you are going to listen to this, and we're going to come back to finish with activity 16. So let's listen really careful.
Student's Book, page 75. Activity 16. Listen and read. Match the tribes 1 to 3 with the sentences. Living traditionally in a modern world. Could you live without a computer or a cell phone? It might be hard for you to imagine a life without technology. But even today, many people all over the world live happily without it. There are many tribes with much more important things to worry about than technology. 1. One of the most famous tribes on the planet is the Maasai people of Kenya in Africa. The Maasai are nomadic. This means they don't live in one place all the time. They move from place to place and make new homes each time they move. They build their homes in the forests from things they can find in nature: mud, sticks, grass, and rocks. Their villages don't have running water or electricity, so computers and cell phones aren't an option. 2. Another tribe in Southeast Asia is the Hmong. These are hill people. They live in the mountains in parts of Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam. They have a very traditional way of life. In fact, they live the same way now that their ancestors used to live more than 2,000 years ago. They also have their own ancient language with two different dialects, Hmong Jua and Hmong Da. The language comes from southern China, and it's quite different from the other languages of Southeast Asia. You won't find much technology in a Hmong hill village. 3. The Koryak people, a tribe in Russia, live on the northern part of the Pacific coast. The land in that area is Arctic tundra, which is very cold. For food, these people catch fish or herd reindeer. Instead of playing computer games or surfing the internet, Koryak children help hunt and cook food for their family. They also sometimes make their own clothes out of reindeer skin. Life for these people is much harder than it is for you or me. Could you live comfortably without basic necessities like food, water, and electricity?
What do you think about this? Sounds nice, right? For them, but it seems difficult for us to be here. Maybe I think they are used to living that way. But if, for example, me, I could try to move to these traditional ways to live in these tribes, I think I will find this difficult for me because I'm used to to live in a comfy way, living in my house with air conditioner, sleeping in my bed, using the internet, using my cell phone. I think it will be difficult for me. What do you think about this? Would you like to live in this way? Why? Why not? Now, activity 16 says, listen and read, match the tribes from 1 to 3. Write sentences A to D, okay? So, letter A, B, C, and D, you are going to match them with the paragraphs 1, 2, and 3, okay? So, that's it. And you are going to do this by your own because now I'm going to explain this activity that we have on page 76. I will learn to write sentences with quotation marks, okay? Activity 17 says, read, then choose the sentences where quotation marks are used correctly, okay? Quotation marks come in pairs. You put them around the words that people say. For example, I had a great time at my grandpa's house, said Jamie. Commas, periods, question marks, and exclamation points usually go inside quotation marks and at the end of what a person says. Commas go outside quotation marks if they come before what people say. For example, number 1, if I used to ride my bike to school, said Maria. Number 2, did they watch TV in the 1930s? He asked. Number 3, Miguel yelled, I got a new cell phone. Number 4, Karen said, I listened to the radio last night, okay? So, and you're going to mark in here or choose the ones that are used correctly, okay? Where the quotation marks are used in a correct way. Okay, so activity 18 says, read and match, make sentences. 1, Tim asked. Number 2, my dad used to travel by bus to school. Number 3, Clara shouted. 4, Grandpa said. A, I used to get water from a pump when I was young. B, how did people used to cook food? B, Bahar said. Letter D, I got a new MP3 player yesterday. Activity 19 says, in your notebook, rewrite the sentences using quotation marks. It is not neat, it is not necessary to rewrite it. You just are going to put the quotation marks where you think they go in here, okay? I'm not asking you to copy this again because I know that it's going to take a while for you to copy again. Just put the quotation marks in the places that you think you need to read and try to understand the meaning, or when is someone talking, or try and prove in different places so you can find the correct place. That's it for today. Don't forget to follow the rules. Don't forget to send pictures of these 3 pages that we did today. And yes, so that's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow. Remember that tomorrow we are going to have the Zoom meeting and try to be there on time. We are going to have activities as always in the Step Inside. And I'll see you there. Please try to be there on time and I'll see you. Goodbye.